church, family, theology, news, entertainment, evangelism. If it's Christian, then we're talking about it. This is the Mike Charleston Podcast.
All right, welcome to the Mike Charleston Podcast, and that is a throwback to the last season. Yes, this is still season 2, but we'll explain why. We are joined. What's 3 for? What do we got there, Larry?
I thought this was season 3.
No, man, season 2. Yeah, no.
I like that. I like that intro.
Yeah, everyone likes that intro, so we threw it in there for this one. Today we are joined with Chuck Tate.
Hey, everybody.
And Larry Grimm.
Hey.
All right, and of course my beautiful wife over here, Sarah.
Hello, everybody.
A little louder.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, use your loud voice. So, as Joshua would say. So yeah, we kind of played that first one, the first season. If you just jumped on the second season, that was our intro in the first season, and everybody loves it.
That was a good one.
So today this is kind of an odd. The original title we were coming up with was Replacing Evil with Good. And I didn't know which direction we were going to go with that. And then Michael Thornton gave us the inspiration this past weekend. And his comment was, guys, man, every time I listen to your podcast, it's always what I can't do. It's like you kill all the fun, and I can't do this, can't do Halloween, can't do Christmas, can't do Easter, can't do my cell phone, can't do
video games.
It's the no fun Mike Charleston show.
That's right. And I'm like, well, dude, if you would get right with God, maybe we would. He's messing with us too, and he's like, no, I appreciate it, but it's just it seems like sometimes it can be a downer. And I get that. Yeah. You know, we focus sometimes on the can't. So today I'm going to flip the script a little bit. Since last week we talked about Halloween and not really Halloween, but the evil spirits, and we kind of ended with Halloween and just why we don't even celebrate, Halloween. I think that's an easy one. We don't celebrate. I know this is going to shock everyone. We don't celebrate Christmas. We don't celebrate Easter. We don't celebrate. I know those episodes. If you want to go check them out, they were in season 1. But we also understand the importance of replacing. If you're going to take away things, it's good to replace things. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, is this called replacement theology? We're not going to talk about the Jews and the church and all that, but actually we kind of are.
I was going to say
But so we're going to replace things, and so there's. The thing with Michael Thornton, not to throw him under the bus here,
that was the wheels going on.
Is he likes to have fun. Yeah. And that's all he wants to do is have fun. And there are times for fun, and we're going to talk about that. But there are times to being serious, right? And so, babe, why don't we get the serious stuff out of the way? What is Romans 12:21
says, "Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good."
Okay, so that might be a little heavy-handed, because we're not really replacing evil with good, per se. But let's just go with that.
Some of it could be.
Right.
I mean, we kind of get into it. Like you said before we started about if somebody got newly saved and they're giving up drinking or whatever, those things would be considered evil.
That's true, and that's so. My wife came up with a couple of these things on the positive side. Well, they're all positive, but the more spiritual side. Yeah. So, like, what can we fill our time? Because there is a time where, okay, you get saved, and depending on how bad you were. Now, if you were a pretty good person, maybe you were already doing pretty good things, But if you were a bad person and you got to replace it with certain things,
we understand that we're going to have things that we stop doing. We'll realize it, and the Spirit will show us, hey, this isn't good. Hopefully, we're continuing to do that throughout our lifetime as God prompts us through our spirit to change. But if you don't, when you change, when you give up something, when you stop doing something, I think we'll see later on, he said, you don't want to become idle. Something else needs to replace that. And that's what we want to talk about. What are the good things?
Yeah, and if you're always negative, you're always negative, and that's why I was telling you, and that might be here in the notes somewhere. I know we talked about it. You're always telling your kids no. We got to give them a yes, and you're shaking your head like, yes, that's in the notes. Once you read your notes, and it is. But I don't remember where they are.
You're jumping ahead.
I'm way ahead. Okay, so why don't we stick to the notes here, right, babe?
That's all good.
Okay, so the Bible is full of things that we are to do. So these are the very spiritual things that I think are kind of obvious, but we'll go ahead and talk about them.
Well,
Right.
we just have a few because obviously there are many things that the Bible tells
you
us
can
to
think
do.
about them yourself, but out there listening. But we're going to just come up with a few, like 1 Thessalonians 5:17.
It says, pray without ceasing.
Pray. So, that's an easy one, right? Pray.
Right, pray.
It's this one, I was talking to Bart, and he's retired now, and he's not doing much these days.
Yep.
And he says it's surprising how much time he has to pray.
Oh,
Because he
yeah.
doesn't have much to do, so he has a lot of time to pray. And I think that is kind of natural. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That when you're younger, you kind of get caught up with life, and
Right.
not to excuse a prayerless life, but you're raising kids, and that is the time when you need prayer. Honestly, you're getting
Hoping
married.
somebody
you're
else is praying
that's
for you.
Yes. But as you get older and your work is not as important, the kids are out of the house, you find you have time, and what are you going to fill it with? Well, he's filling it with prayer. And so that's kind of what we're talking about. That void has to be filled, and it can easily slip into just turn on the TV.
Yeah.
I can just sit back and enjoy life, go sit on the porch and enjoy nature, which is a good thing to do, right? And drink tea or something. But he's gonna fill it with prayer.
I'm glad we're on his list.
Yes, absolutely. So Philippians 2:4.
Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others.
Okay, so if you're kind of bored and you're idle, this one will fill your time up real quickly.
Yeah.
Look for other people's needs and how you can help them out.
Which kind of goes to the next one.
Which is
Galatians 6:2 says, bear ye one another's burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ.
one is more burdens, which is I think more heavier, and the other one is how you're actually you're looking at someone else's how to benefit them in some way. I think, but it's still connected, right? There's no
Right,
doubt.
yeah.
And look, there's a lot of people. I mean, we talk to a lot of people out there, and there's a lot of burdens to bear, and it can be tough. So it's all right if I give Chuck some of my burdens. Be like, here, Chuck, take
That's right. We can share them. Share.
Where do you throw yours? After I send them your way, what do you?
That's a good question. Larry?
So it is good to bear one another burden, and that takes a lot of time. So once again, these are fillers. You're gonna fill your time no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what's next, babe?
1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as also ye do.
Yeah, that one's very open-ended. Like comfort and edify. That
Yeah.
comes in many shapes and sizes, and it can mean lots of different things. But there's a lot of hurting people out there, and to edify and to comfort is a big deal. So once again, these are all spiritual, non-fun. Even though I look, you can have fun in
Well, you
doing
can have
this.
fun doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think of some of the Amish you see them, the barn raising
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
That's kind of bearing one another's burden, helping to build a
And
barn.
they enjoy doing that.
Yeah, they
It's a good
do.
way to hook up
They
with
make
a lady.
Yeah.
Not me personally, but the young men. They're looking
Right,
around
that's right.
and
Yeah, it's a
they're
good
like, "Hey,
place.
that man over there can lift a 2x4. That's sexy." So, I don't know what they do. I think I just got in trouble. I don't know. Let's move on to
Moving
Mark
along.
16:15.
And he said unto them, go ye into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature.
Preaching the gospel. I mean, that is obviously a thing that we need to be doing. I was just listening to Chuck Missler this week, and he was like, that's what we should be about. I mean, this is what we're about. We're about loving one another and spreading it.
Yeah.
And his thing was, you spread it more by your life than your words. Like, words are important, don't get me wrong,
Right,
but
right.
your lifestyle actually affects a lot of people that are closer to you. Obviously, if you're just passing by someone on the street, all you've got is a track.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they don't see you ever again in your life. That's fine. But your lifestyle is a huge witness.
Yes.
And it's a very big key.
Yeah, people are watching.
Yes.
All the time.
All the time. Especially once you claim Christ, they're
Yeah.
definitely watching.
People are watching. People are judging. We do the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what we need to realize, that somebody's watching. Whatever you do, whatever you say, it's going to have an effect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a good point. So, these are good things. This is a good thing for parents to consider, right, babe?
Yep.
You're the chick chair, right? So
Pretty
you have to
much.
deal with kids most of the time while we're at work and all that. So what have you learned?
Well, I've learned that saying no, no, no all day long doesn't work very well.
It can be like nagging in some way.
Pretty much. If you
a
spend
kid-
all day putting out fires, and so the kids get into trouble, and so you
Yep.
stop them and say, okay, guys, no more of that, and no more of that, and
Stop
no more
doing
of
this.
that.
Stop. No.
It doesn't
no.
work very well, and you get
Dad,
very
can I go
frustrated.
here? No. Dad, can I do this? No. Can we watch this? No.
Right.
You get a lot of no's, and I mean, maybe that's why my nose is so big. You know, he said no too many times and so many noses. But anyway, it's okay. That one fell flat.
Anyway, well, I actually was just talking to somebody about this because they were saying, well, you know, I had a bunch of kids all in a very short period of time, so they were all young together.
Right.
And they were wondering if I remembered what I did. And I said, well, one thing was that I tried not to just say, no, stop doing this and wait till it was bad.
Right.
But I would, you know, let them play with something. And when I felt like they had had enough time doing that, or they start getting
Antsy.
a little bit antsy or whatever, I would say, okay, guys, let's pick up this and we're going to go outside, or we're going to read a book, or,
Right.
you know, change into something else. So you want to say yes, and you want to give them things that are positive to do.
We're
rather
going to
than
do
just-
this.
Right.
We're going to go do this. And it becomes like we're a part of something now instead of just rejection.
Right.
And actually, I was telling Michael Thornton this weekend about you and Sarah, that is, if you're listening, Sarah. And that she is the master of that, making everything fun. Like we would be scrubbing the floors, and instead of just mopping, everyone grab a towel, get on your hands and knees, and they'd make a game out of it. You know, all the work in our house is a game to the kids, and they actually enjoy it. Now, obviously, there's a time and place where you just have to do something.
Yeah.
But like we were talking about, Larry and I, we're like, we're used to working by ourselves, so it's
Yeah.
like get the job done, and then we can have fun. But-
Yeah, it's like, you have a job to do. Why does it need to be fun? You just do it and you move on to the next thing.
Because they do it all day long.
I know.
And-
It's just,
That's because you're not with kids. The
I
kids
know,
like to
that's-
have fun.
I
But
know.
if you're like me, you do one job and then you move to the next one.
Right.
And then you move to the next one.
Yeah.
So if you don't intentionally decide, hey, we're going to stop and have fun, you may not stop and
Right.
have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
My wife's much better than me. She doesn't necessarily always make the jobs fun, but she is one of these who likes to have a reward.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be
Yep.
a great thing for her. Me,
Rewards
not so
are
much.
good.
Rewards
Good.
are good. You get
Yep.
this done, we'll do this. You know, if we get finished doing whatever the job is, then we'll go to the creek and go swimming.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
much better at that than I am.
That's given a yes.
That's given a
Yeah.
yes.
Right.
But
Yeah.
You're not
having-
waiting for the kids to ask for something. You're intentional.
Right.
And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's exactly right. And I mean, the other thing for me was I have to, I realized at some point, I don't remember when, but I realized at some point it was good that I had to make an effort to say yes more often. You know, we should look at things in such a way that I'm going to say yes if I can.
Right.
You know, not just,
Yeah.
oh, no, we're not going to do that.
Or
Because
modify it a little bit.
or modify it, you
no,
know.
well, you want to watch a movie?
But sometimes
maybe
it's
not
just-
that movie. Let's watch
right.
this. You know.
Sometimes it would just say no because it's not convenient for us.
Yes,
And I have to
absolutely.
realize that's
Absolutely.
that's not a good reason.
Yes, Daddy. Can we
you
go
didn't have to
outside
be
and play?
so honest.
No.
about it. You're giving away secrets.
It's true though.
Kids
I mean,
are listening to this.
they'll know one day.
Yeah.
No, that is like you said, idleness is never good, and so that's what we really need to replace. And we have to be intentional about this, especially as parents. Now, this isn't necessarily a parenting podcast. You know, it wasn't designed that way,
Right.
but it fits. And if we have a plan in place, like you were saying, we watched our kids pretty closely, and we could sense when they're getting a little selfish, or so. There's something that's going to happen.
A little bored with whatever
Right.
they're
Right.
doing,
Yeah.
and that's not going to be
And
good.
when they're bored, things happen.
Trouble.
And so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
move them along.
Fight
Okay.
start.
Right.
Pretty much.
So you stop it and you say, well, let's go outside and play for a little bit. And then about a half hour, or when you okay, let's come back in. Let's do some work. Okay,
Yeah.
now it's time to sit down and do some school. And if you're making it a little bit more fun, and look, it doesn't have to always be fun. Once again, if we're not trying to say life has to always be fun, because there are times where you just have to sit down and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have to realize that. But they're more inclined to obey when they know that you're a person that wants to have fun with them, and
Yeah.
that they're like, hey, and that's what I was telling Michael. And I'm like, this whole podcast is directed to him. Hey, Mike, how you doing? But he's really good at connecting those strings and having fun with his kids, and
Yeah.
he just needs to, do the other side sometimes. He's probably listening. It's like, guys, can you just chill out, man? So, anyways, what is next? What do we have here? We do hear things, read things, and consider things that cause us to abstain from things, to take them out of our lives. So, it's just like this podcast, like he was complaining about. Sometimes we get convicted about things, and you're listening to someone, maybe the Mike Charleston show, or maybe something that's more spiritual, and you're reading the Bible. And as you're reading or studying, you're realizing, hey, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should stop doing this. And so this is really where this is the replacement. And this is what we're talking about. Really, is you have a conviction about something. So, like we were talking about last week, I have a conviction about certain holidays, and we don't do it. But having taken that away, I want to introduce our traditions and our holidays and our ways of doing things. And I think I'm getting a little far ahead of ourselves, though, right?
That's okay.
Well,
Go ahead.
a little bit. Yeah.
So yeah, when you take something away, something else needs to take its place. Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Page 1's done. Okay.
Well, I mean, it makes me think of like young people, and I mean, all of us have teenagers and older children, and social media is a big thing, and phones and all that.
Yeah.
And sometimes we're not ready for them to have that, but they want to have friendships and they want to develop some of that. So if you don't want them to have Facebook or whatever it is, then you have to be
cultivate
creative
that.
to
Right.
Yeah, so
find
you
a different way.
you're actually creating an environment
Right.
that you
Right.
want,
Yeah.
that you feel like is a good environment. I remember many years ago. This was probably back 10 years ago, somewhere
okay.
along there. When my oldest children, most of them are at home now, were middle teens. They wanted to do things. I mean, if you want to do things,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I remember trying to think, what should we do? And for whatever reason, I don't remember, decided on a volleyball court.
Yep.
So just one day I got out and started making a volleyball court, and they got into it. And at that point in time, we had, I had 4 or 5 teenagers that were pretty close in age. I had they had cousins who lived pretty much next door. There was another 4 or 5 of them the same age. We had a lot of young people within our geographical area that just kind of bonded together at that time. And me just getting out and doing that created a situation where all of those folks wanted to come to my house.
Right. Right.
And I would much rather them come to my house than my kids going somewhere else.
Exactly.
And it was initially, it was a really good thing. It was great. Then it became Sunday afternoon. Everybody was in my house. I mean, it wasn't a question if they were coming. They were coming.
Right.
And we look back, it's like, okay, we had to scale this back some or what, because we never have a son. But it was a period of time. It worked great. Now the court's still there. We still like to play sometimes, but not as many people around.
Well,
that age.
And part of the reason why we're doing this too is, if you're going the route that we're going, and if you're listening to this podcast, watching on YouTube, you're probably going this route somewhat. And we are definitely counterculture. Our culture has removed itself from Christ.
Right.
The culture at one time was somewhat of a godly culture, at least had an idea of godliness.
At least it was family oriented.
Yes, that's probably a good way of putting it. And now it's not. It's really divided, and everyone does its own thing. And so even the holidays are more commercial in nature.
All of our holidays have become commercialized now.
Yeah. Right.
The only one I think they haven't is Thanksgiving.
Well, kind of. The day after is the most.
The day after. Riley and I were just talking about this. I'm like, how is it you can have one day where you're thankful for all that you have,
and then the very next day?
Not even now. It's not even the next day.
It's like that night. Yeah, and then you'll line up for all the things you want.
Yeah, I'm like, well, what happened?
Well, we're thankful for everything we have,
but we want more.
But I don't have that.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, it's become so commercialized, and it becomes so Americanized, and so it's we some of the examples of our convictions, that being counterculture is you might come to that place where no TV in my house. I know that was us for a season. That was I think all of you,
right,
and all of us here.
We had one TV when Pam and I first got married. It was a 13-inch black and white.
I remember that. And
not that we're that old. That was black and white. Just
that's all they had. Wow.
To the point that your brother-in-law, was it your brother-in-law or your brother?
Pam's brother
had to buy you a TV, and you're like, no, we don't want one.
Yeah,
and
he came and stayed with us for a couple of weeks, and we had at that time we had a little 13-inch color with a DVD combo TV thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think all homeschoolers have that
The
one.
one you had it in the closet, you pulled it out.
Yeah.
And you used it. I never had one of those.
He's like, I can't take this anymore. And he showed up one day. He had this 42-inch flat screen TV. We had that thing for years.
Wow.
And I think we still have it. We brought it with us.
Oh,
you
wow.
don't know what you have right now.
Yeah.
He has a box.
So so no TV, no maybe. So then, like what you guys do, if you don't watch TV, maybe fill it with a read aloud. You know, why don't you explain a read aloud?
So read aloud.
Not that confusing, right?
Yeah, that's right. So, I think that's what people think about read alouds. They probably think about mom reading to the kids, but we grew up. My kids, from the oldest to the youngest, have grown up listening to us read.
Right.
Yeah.
And it can cover many different topics. It's more of an enjoyable, most of the time, it's more of a storyline type of thing. But
So not a deep
we still
theological book.
Not a deep theological. Sometimes we'll go there.
Yeah, sure.
You know, but I mean, it's if we do, it's definitely a mixture. We kind of fall back towards the more enjoyable storyline because that's what everybody likes. It's more comfortable. But we do. We were always reading a book. I mean, I'm reading a book right now with the kids, and Jeannie's probably reading another one with them right now. If she's not, she'll be starting one. But we finish one, we start another one. We just
I don't
always.
know how you're reading to them right now. You're right here.
Oh well, they're probably wishing I'm reading to them right now.
Did you make popcorn? Sit around and live?
We have in the
we-
past.
yeah.
That used to be a Sunday night tradition.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do
Yeah.
the,
Chuck
do the
does
popcorn, but
voices
we haven't done that
with his characters.
I do like to do voices.
Yes.
That's fun.
I think if you're a cool dad, and look, man, I think we're all cool dads here, right? We all do
I think
voices.
we
Do you do
are.
voices when you read
No,
it?
no.
Oh, it's Larry.
Seriously?
All right, yeah, I know. But we did do a lot of we did the Chronicles of Narnia. The kids love that. You
read them?
I think I've read all 7 books probably 5 times.
Okay, with no
Wow.
voices.
No voice.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm not that cool.
Yeah. Going back to some of the examples,
Larry?
like
Yeah.
What
I know,
are you
really,
doing?
seriously.
my kids. If you go voices, my kid's favorite voice is Hank the Cowdog.
I know.
That's
Yeah,
just
that's
like
a great
by
story. We used to
far.
listen to those.
Yeah.
Yeah, listening to things. No more video. If you cut out video games, try board games. You know, all these. Be creative. If you're cutting out certain things, you've got to replace it with something good. You know,
Right.
still good, but still fun. So we have to be careful as parents. What?
Well, with any kids, but definitely with our older kids, like we're forcing our convictions. So
We are.
we listen to stuff, we read stuff, and then we come home. You come home.
We're
and
no
you're
longer
like,
doing this.
Like, okay. I mean, for little kids, they kind of just go with whatever, and it's not a big deal. But as they get older, it's like you come home and say, no more whatever it
That's
is.
it.
It's-
Dad read a book. You're no longer going to watch TV.
So that can be kind of a big deal if it's been something that's part of our lives.
Right,
So that's
right.
where, what we're talking about here, you have to have some kind of alternative.
Right. Keep that in mind that if you have that conviction and you're going to bring down the thunder, remember the flip side. Like, okay, if I'm going to come home and say we're no longer eating sugar,
I knew that was coming up. I was just thinking. I was thinking like Mike. I was like, he's gonna go to the sugar.
then you better have something. Like, what? No more sweets, but
We're gonna replace sugar with spinach.
no, that would be rebellion would take
Brussels
place.
sprouts.
Yeah. So we got to keep that in mind. That as we just keep that in mind.
So I think I know the answer to this, but when you guys quit doing Christmas, were your kids older? I mean,
We did that early on. Like
Okay.
Abigail
They
wasn't
were.
even one yet.
okay.
So
Yeah.
but they grew up not even knowing that it existed
Right, okay.
until Elizabeth was born. No, I'm just kidding. We'll explain that later here.
Yeah.
But fun is not evil, right? So we have to remember that. So Michael Thornton, you hear me out there? I'm looking right at you if you're watching.
Go have some fun.
That's right. I'm not saying fun is. You know us. We like to have fun.
Yeah.
And I was talking to a young man, and this past week, and I'm like, look, if you knew us, we have a lot of fun at my house. We do. We probably have too much fun, and
Sometimes.
I'm a little too silly, believe it or not. But fun is not easy. So Ecclesiastes 3:13.
Wow, you said it right.
Ecclesiastes.
It says, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of God.
It is a gift of
Yeah.
God. Think about that. It's good to enjoy life.
Right.
We need to take life seriously, but taking life too seriously can just take the fun out of it. And there is serious times in life, there's no doubt. And I know this message wouldn't go over well in persecuted areas where there is no fun.
Right.
But even in that, you can find something to still enjoy about, going through the flood was not fun. It wasn't like, this is, even though the kids said that was the funnest time that they had. I'm like, you guys are sadists. This is crazy. But you can find moments in there where we can make it fun.
It was an adventure.
For
was
Chuck,
an
it was.
adventure.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Well, I think that's what makes Christians is we can have joy and we can find fun in situations that are not good.
Absolutely.
So
Ecclesiastes 5:18.
Behold that which I have seen, it is good and comely for one to eat and to drink and to enjoy the good of all his labor, that he taketh under the sun all the days of his life, which God giveth to him, for it is his portion.
Yes. And so when we come back, I think, when we come back, we are going to give some of those examples of those things that we have replaced that are fun. And because we don't celebrate some of those holidays like you were talking about,
right.
And what have we done with that, and maybe give you some ideas and some things that you could copy maybe, or maybe you can email and give us your ideas, or we're going to talk about that when we come back.
Thank you for listening. This is the Mike Charleston Show.
All right, we are back, and a couple technical difficulties there. By the way, this is November Cancer Awareness for Men. So before I came up here, so here's a little inside that most people probably don't know. I don't shave except for once a week, and so everyone probably thinks I'm clean shaven, but I look more like Chuck, not like Larry, for the rest of the week. And Thursday's the only day I shave. I do shower every day.
You know how many guys wish they could only have to shave once a week? Yeah.
No, but I need to shave. I just don't.
Well,
right. No, trust me, I need to shave. I just don't. So I kept my mustache because I wanted to see what I look like with a mustache, and forget about it. No. Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, it was terrible. Thank you. All right. Well, right now it is game time with Abigail, right? And now it's time for game time with Abigail. All right, Abigail, I have no clue what's going on. I know I say that every time, but honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, never
I wasn't even thinking that we're having a game. But,
I didn't think so either.
Surprise.
Well, hopefully this isn't as hard as it seems. So
I'm scared
it's
already.
called Finish the Verse.
Finish the verse. Okay.
So I'm going to read part of a verse from the Bible, and you will have to finish it. And you get bonus points if you get the correct reference.
Do we have to... Forget that. Do you think do we just jump in? Or are we going to go around the table?
Oh, no, we're going to go around the table. Each person will take a turn.
Great. Well, I hope I get the easy ones.
Well, we're going to start off with an easy, then a kind of difficult, and then a difficult one.
Truly, you have a dizzying intellect.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and get the first one done. We'll start with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's me, right? Okay, you can go ahead.
Sarah was asking before the game who's going to win. And she was a little concerned. I'm like, you're the one that spends 24 hours a day out of 3 months of the year doing Bible beat.
Yeah.
That's a good
So
point.
that makes it more embarrassing if I lose, but I don't know everything.
Okay, go ahead.
And you don't, also another thing, you don't have to actually finish it completely accurately, as long as it's the
So it doesn't have to be in
general
King
idea.
James or whatever.
This
so
isn't Bible
it could
B. You can, if you say
well,
two
then it's
instead
a little
of
easier
unto,
because
it's
I can
okay.
I can say I can do the amplified version here. Give you a
Okay,
minute.
but it has
Living
to-
translation, because we can fill in anything.
Hey.
Some has to be a reasonable.
Okay, let's just try
Alright.
this.
All right. So I'm going to just say part of it, and then I'll stop, and you have to finish it.
Okay.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God.
Oh, what's next?
Yeah.
To present your body as a living sacrifice.
Keep going.
That's wholly acceptable unto God. And this is your reasonable service.
Yes. Do you know the reference?
That would be Romans 12:1.
What is it? Really? Which one is it?
Blindfold
Romans
you for the
12.
next one.
Yeah. So that's 2 points.
He's not going to help you when it's your turn.
I know. I don't
Larry
know
gets
why.
half a point.
All right.
What was that winking?
Okay, go ahead.
Mom, this is your first one. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and have a good courage. Be not afraid.
Neither be dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you, whithersoever thou goest.
Yes. Do you know the
Wow.
reference?
I think that's Joshua
Joshua
1:9.
That is correct.
Yeah.
I actually knew the reference on that one.
All right, Mr. Chuck, you ready?
No.
I'm getting nervous over here.
All right, here it goes. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up.
With wings as eagles, they shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint.
Yes. Do you know the reference?
No, I don't remember. Yeah, Isaiah. Yeah, I know, but I don't remember it.
Do you know the chapter? Okay. All right.
That one's actually on the wall.
It is. That is.
That is Isaiah 40:31.
40:31. Yep.
Did you say that?
No, he said 25.
Yeah.
No, I said.
All right, Mr. Larry, you ready?
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Be careful for nothing, but in everything, by prayer.
And supplication, let your requests be made known unto God.
Yes.
Oh,
He
okay.
skipped with Thanksgiving.
I know.
No, it was close enough,
Okay,
though.
I was
Wow. It's November, really?
Do you know the reference?
I don't remember the reference.
Oh, that, can we steal it? No, no, it's no stealing. No stealing.
interested.
No stealing.
I want them to steal. What is
What
it?
did you think it was? No stealing, but what was it?
That would be 1 Thessalonians.
Nope.
Second, 1 Timothy.
Nope.
How about First Philippians?
First
Third Peter.
Leviticus.
That was
Leviticus.
Philippians. Philippians 4:6.
That's right. Okay. So we're
All
going
right.
back to me?
Yes.
All right.
He hath showed thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee.
Yes, to walk humbly and mercifully before thy God, or something like that. Humbly. It's Micah 4:8. 3:8. 2:8.
No,
It's Micah.
it is Micah.
And you walk humbly and rightly before our God. This is the Living Bible we're talking about here, right?
No,
What? What are you talking about?
I don't know if I can count that, but to do justly
Yeah,
and
that's
to
what I
love
said.
mercy.
I said that.
Skip it.
Justice,
Justice,
mercy,
mercy,
and-
justly, and to love, mercy.
That was Micah
Okay.
5. Is
I
that
think
5?
that
6:8.
6:8.
I'll give you a point for that, but not for the reference.
He just said Micah. He never got the chapter. He never said
No.
I did say 6.
Two
I
words.
said verse 6. I don't know. I
It's
said
6.
Yeah, I got a friend who recently started listening to the show, and they say they've on the games. Mike just kind of keeps talking until he talks Abigail into the answer.
That's right. That's,
Stand your ground, Abigail. No.
That's right.
All right, you ready?
Okay.
I do not think amiss what you think amiss.
For the word of God is quick and
oh,
powerful.
come on.
Sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing.
Keep
Dividing
going.
of soul and spirit. Come on.
No.
No.
Yes.
Fighting a son.
Keep going.
For the word of God is quick and powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing. I want to say asunder, but piercing something to the dividing of the soul and spirit.
Keep going.
Oh wow. More.
Wow. She got more than 2 words.
The piercing.
We'll give it to her.
Spirit.
The joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts
Thoughts
and intents of the heart.
Wow.
I was trying to help you out there.
Yeah, you were. Well, I was
Are
thinking
we all
joints and
winners?
marrow, and I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe heart and mind? I don't know.
Do you know the
Okay.
reference?
I do. That is in Hebrews.
Hebrews.
Hebrews, but you gotta have the reference.
I want to say 4:12.
That is correct.
Yes.
Just like that.
Okay. Are you ready?
No.
Stop saying that.
All right. For
Baby
I know,
steps. Baby steps.
for I know the thoughts that I think toward you,
Come
saith
on,
the Lord.
man. That's on the
Thoughts
wall.
of
Ooh.
Thoughts of good. I have lost now.
thoughts of peace.
Money.
Prosperity.
No.
Okay.
Prosper
Thoughts
you?
of peace and not of evil, to
How to
give you
prosper?
an expected end.
Yeah, Jeremiah. Oh,
Do you know the reference?
29:11.
Yes.
That was not on the wall.
I was looking for, you mean not the wall in here, I guess,
It
obviously.
was never on the wall in King James. I always know future and a
Yeah.
hope, and
Right.
that's not that. But anyway.
All right.
You're going to give me John 11:35, right?
That would be kind of hard to do.
Well, you just say Jesus, and then I can finish it.
All right. Well, here's yours. These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace.
Okay.
That sounds like
Good
all
luck.
of it.
Okay. In the world,
Well said.
Oh, yeah. In the world, you'll have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world.
yes.
Yeah.
Do you know the reference?
John.
It's one of the Gospels. Jesus,
John.
John.
It is John.
John.
Is it John? I want to say, would it be
12.
no 15 or 17?
7.
Nope.
No?
Those are all wrong. It's 1633.
Ah,
Wow. I didn't know
All
that.
right, and for
was
the
in the
last round.
ballpark.
No, last round? Okay,
Last round,
I got
huh.
to
Last
sharpen
round.
up here.
These are supposedly harder.
Extremely
I thought.
difficult.
Not
What's that?
extremely difficult, but
Okay.
more challenging. All right, Dad, we're going to start with you. Study to show thyself approved unto God.
To be a workman worthy of something, worthy of his calling,
Not ashamed.
not ashamed
Oh.
of his.
Rightly
divided the word of truth.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I think you had some help on that one.
A little bit there.
You're better.
Do you know the reference?
Say it again.
What do you mean say it again?
Repeat it.
Study to show thyself approved.
Oh,
The
that's
God that worked in it, read
that's
me not to be ashamed.
2 Timothy 3:16. 1 Timothy 3:16.
Nope. It's 2 Timothy 2:15.
Oh, 2:15.
Yeah.
All right, your last one.
Okay.
But ye shall receive power after that the Holy
Ever.
Ghost is come upon you, and ye shall be witnesses unto me both in Jerusalem.
And in Judea and
know
in
she knows
Samaria and
these.
unto the uttermost parts of the earth. That's Acts 1:8.
Yes, she
Yes.
knows that one in her sleep. Come
Hey.
on.
I wasn't sure about that one
What are you talking about?
because of all the places. Everybody messed those up all the time.
Last year Bible bee, so.
Okay,
All
Chuck,
right.
no pressure.
Your last one.
I'm ready.
Wow.
All right.
All right. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men.
Whereby you must be saved.
Is correct. Do you know the reference?
Is this a kissing book?
No.
No.
That is Acts 4:12.
Yeah, that's Philip.
Wow.
Philip and the eunuch.
Yeah, that's
All right, and for your last one,
Not Philip and the eunuch.
No.
That was
I don't think that was.
no, because that would have been Acts 8.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's somebody.
so moving on. Never mind.
All right, for your last one.
Okay.
And he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore.
Oh, most gladly will I glory in my infirmities. That's all I can remember.
It's better than me.
Yeah.
That the power.
Oh, got the power
Yeah.
invested in me. With the written express. Major League Baseball.
No, that's all I got.
That the power of Christ may rest upon me.
Yeah.
Do you know the reference?
It's with Paul.
Philippians. What were we talking about again?
Philip and the
My
eunuch.
grace is sufficient.
Oh, that's isn't by grace is sufficient. You know that one.
I actually don't.
Yeah,
Like, that's one of my favorite
I
verses,
don't
and
know
it
if
never
that's in
sticks where it
Acts.
is.
I want to say, but
No.
no, it's it would be
No, I think she moved. I think the facial was Acts was right. So keep going.
no,
it's not Acts.
no,
It's
it's
Philippians, isn't it?
It's not
It's not
Philippians.
Galatians.
Philippians.
Nope. 2 Corinthians 12:9.
Oh yeah, we all knew that.
yeah.
We all
Yeah.
knew.
All right, well that's it for the game. Thank you, Abigail.
Well,
I'm pretty
Yes,
sure I
that
think
was,
I might have won.
Yeah, you did. Because you got
did.
all of them right.
If you didn't
All right.
win, then
Well,
You should.
You know
Told
which
you.
one you should be.
Well, I can
first.
see this
Yeah,
tomorrow.
there you go.
that's right.
Yes.
That's right. Okay, with the magic of maybe we just focus on this camera here. Abigail's going to leave us real quick here because she doesn't want to be part of this part of the show. The part of the show. We're going to
Thank
do
you,
a couple.
Abigail.
Thanks, Abigail.
We got some emails, and she didn't want to talk. You went the wrong way, but now we saw her go back behind us. She actually went to College Station this past weekend to go witnessing her and Hannah, or her and Rebecca, and a couple other people. A couple friends of hers, and they went out there and was witnessing at Texas. It was Texas A&M, Texas A&M, and actually had a football game there. So they didn't really have a lot of luck at the football game, and because it's a party, and they don't usually want you there. But anyway, we have a couple of emails. Here they are. Okay. So here we go, guys. The first one. Hello, all. So that's all. The episode about the Bible versions was good. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
It reminded me of when I discussed this topic with my brother. My brother said that God left us with an overwhelming amount of evidence, just like with the flood and other topics. This is all good to know, but how would we go about sharing this with fellow believers that we work next to or that are close friends who ask about our KJV only beliefs? A lot of times when this happens, whether on this topic or simple computer topics and others, they just turn off because it's too complicated to discuss. Thanks for the podcast, brother in Christ. That's actually a good question.
Good, yeah.
I actually try to avoid this topic because
I
it
actually
is.
was going to say that's probably a good idea. I just,
And when it comes up, if they're really sincerely, I mean, there is times where you can show them clips of things. Like there's the KJV Big Deal. The Big Deal KJV. It's almost a TV show format. It's like 6-7 minutes, real quick. It gives you a taste for the issues. If you are more interested in it, then you can delve deeper.
Right.
I find delving deeper gets really boring, but it's important though.
Right.
Like it's important. Most people don't really want the big issues. They want the 5-minute clip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just give me a quick answer. Well, there is no quick answer. There really isn't.
I mean, there is, but there isn't. You can get real technical, but most of the time, people that get technical, it's because they want to sound intelligent. So they use their jargon.
Right.
They like the critical text, I don't know. Anyway, but you don't have to go that far. You can just say, simple things like, why is this verse missing?
Right.
Isn't that kind of important? Like, why is it in Acts 8:38? Why is that taken out? What's the only verse in the entire Bible that ties the Trinity together as one?
Why is that out?
And why did they take that out?
Now, that may lead them down a dark path because they may be reading stuff online that will confirm that the Bible isn't true, but that's on them.
Well, yeah, that's on them. But those are simple things that you can ask questions that you don't really have to get into the deep weeds of the
idea being provoke thought.
Right.
If they're really interested, then they need to think about it.
Right. And kind of like what we did on the podcast, we didn't really delve into some of the big issues. We could have gotten to critical text. We could have gotten to Nestle Alan.
And the family manuscripts, all that. Right. You don't need to go that far.
We could delve deeper, but there's books out there if you really want to get into it. But gives you just personal testimony on this is why, and if you disagree, and then so be it.
Well, and you can always tell them, you can say, look, I'd like to agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
That's right. Yeah. That's
how to win friends and influence people.
That's right.
Larry, what are you doing?
All right, so that one is it's a big topic. There is no doubt about it, and we've avoided it long enough, and we had to talk about it, but we don't make a big deal about it. We are King James. All of us here are King James people, and it's important to us. It's very important to us, and I think it's an important issue. Don't get me wrong. But beating someone over the head, literally, with the Word of God, is not the way to win them over. It
could be fun at times.
It could be, but there are certain when you're studying the Bible, it comes out. It's like I deal with the issues when I feel like we have to, and like some of the versions change it here, and this is why, and this is why the King James, But honestly, it's like I said in the podcast, the other show. If someone really believes that they're holding the NASB or the NIV, God forbid, that it's the actual words of God, then so be it. That's what they believe, that they're believing the words of God. Then they need to believe that and live after it. But we can challenge one another just like we do in other aspects of life. And so anyway, it's not an easy issue to bring up, and it's kind of a boring one to, as you're getting into some of the details, you can tell when someone is just like, whatever. Yeah, it's going, because it can be very boring.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
It's not fun, as Michael Thornton would say.
that's right. It's not fun, but it can be. I mean, I enjoyed some of it, but after a while, because I know what I believe now, to me, it's kind of just like, I don't care. I know what I believe. And I don't have a bunch of people asking me that question anymore. And there was a time and place where that was a big issue.
Yeah.
But now I'm surrounded by people that believe that particular issue. All right, let's go on to the second one here. It says, "Hello, Charlestons." That's you, babe, and me.
Hi.
Mr. Grimm.
Yep.
With 2 M's. Yep.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He's still Larry.
It's only one.
It's 1 M, not 2 M's, but he's not Grimm. And Mr. Tate. So hello. This episode was great. I think he's talking about the smartphones one. He said, this episode was great. It brought up so much truth, that was all caps, about the dangers of smartphone and social media. It was very encouraging to listen to, especially since I'm in college right now, going for a degree within the realms of computer technology. Good luck, man.
Yeah.
I think Chuck did that same thing.
I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think he meant so many. There are so many questions that came up in my mind that it was hard to keep track of them. Well, next time, just get out your smartphone and write them down. Make a note.
Now you can talk
Siri,
into it.
make a note. No. We would have to talk in person at some point, meaning I should come to the Mississippi Shindig. Yes, you should have. You missed it.
Yeah, I missed it.
And I know who you are, but he said blessings of brother in Christ. I actually know who that is, but he didn't say his name, so we're not going to say it. But you should have come to the Shindig, and you should come to the next one next year. But
That's right.
or these other events that we're going to be talking about.
Yep.
But thank you for the email. If you would like to be a part of the show and just make a comment, you can disagree with us. That's fine. Tell us how dumb we are. We'll tell you to go pound sand. But no, the email is talk@fellowshipofbelievers.org. That's talk@fellowshipofbelievers.org. And actually, Joshua has told me that they've created a Facebook page that for the show. And so go and like it. I don't subscribe to it. You follow it.
Follow.
Yeah.
And maybe you can ask questions there and do whatever. So we're still building that. So it's probably...
I'll go check that out.
You should. Your picture's on there with a hat.
Oh.
Yeah, you're wearing a hat.
Oh,
So
sweet.
yeah,
I'll go
we
look that
edited
up.
a hat on you. So,
Probably needed to.
It's not one of the ones with the cover on the face of the magazine, right?
No,
I'll get the spot on my
yeah, we got the eye on it. So, all right, we will.
an
Thank you for the
inside joke,
emails, guys, and hopefully that helps. And we will be back with the rest of the Replacement Theology Show.
Thank you for listening to The Mike Charleston Show.
All right, we are back, and that's a little subdued there. Usually we got a little energy coming in, but we are good. We are back. So let's go ahead and finish this. I didn't mention the Facebook. It's facebook.com/the Mike Charleston, or not the Mike Charleston. I think it's just Mike Charleston Show. I can't see it with the light. Sorry, Joshua. Is that a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Okay, that's a thumbs in the light.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get back here for some examples that we were talking about. Look for things you can do with your family. Get very creative. So in our family, we had given up. Halloween was off the board, even for my childhood. Yeah. And then I got convicted early on about Christmas and Easter. And if you want to listen to those episodes, you can go back, check those out. Why? We don't make a big deal about it, but we don't. In fact, Larry doesn't either. And so we had to come up with things to replace it with. And so...
Well, before you go, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think you should tell them what, I don't know if you mentioned before about what you guys do instead of Christmas.
Well, that's what I was getting to. Right.
Okay, I didn't know if you were going to say that.
So that was some of the things.
Because we copied you.
You copied. So maybe that's what we can. Now, New Year's is a holiday too, and we have time off. And so what we came up with, and a lot of people maybe call this a cop-out, and you know what? I don't care. It's my show, so go pound sand. And it's a fun activity. So what we do is on the first of the year, obviously New Year's Day. Now, this had to be modified because of, thank you, Scoggins, for having your Kushan.
Right.
New Year's. But we still do it around New Year's. And so what we do is we wake up early and we do exchange gifts. Now, these gifts are more guided to what we would want our kids to do during the next year. Now, there's some fun ones we do. We just have some fun things. But a lot of the gifts were intended to, they have interest in this particular thing, and we want them to go into that a little bit more this year, or things that we're doing. You know what I'm saying? And that was the intent. The last couple of years, I don't think last year we bought anything. I
think
remember.
we exchanged names or something. Everybody
We just
bought
had
one thing or something.
It was just for fun at that point.
We're all
but-
kind of growing up.
Yeah,
so
and it's like, you know what?
What's the point of
It's
the
too
gifts?
bad. You guys, we're just having fun. But what we would do is also we would have food, and we would all make some food. Food's always involved.
Oh, it's gotta be.
The kids would pick something to make, and then we would have a theme. So one year it was all Italian, and we all got sick. And not
So we
because of
didn't
the
do
food.
that again.
No. And one year it was all different kinds of sandwiches, and one year it was different kinds of wings we had, and that along with all the other junk food that we ate. I forget some of the things that are staples for that day. You know, like puppy chow, peppermint bark, yes, the little Smokies, and we just played games the whole day. And we don't play video games all that much. We do have a Wii. And we is so old at this point.
I know. Yeah.
But the kids will sit there and play Mario Kart for a while. They'll play board games. We'll have it's just a whole day of just fun.
Yeah.
And it usually lasts 2 days. I try to push it, and as long as the food lasts, we're partying. So that's what we did.
Yeah.
And we kind of mentioned that to you guys, and you guys kind of carried it on over there.
Right, because we were trying to find something to do as a replacement, and not just sit at home and normal life. But
and it was easier for us because about 16 years ago, 15 years ago, 16 years, coming up on 16 years ago, Elizabeth was born on Christmas. So God has a sense of humor. Yeah. And so he gave us Elizabeth. So it's really easy for us to just celebrate her birthday. On that. And we don't really celebrate birthdays, but all we do for our birthdays, you get to pick what you eat, and we make a cake or something like that, and that's about it. But so anyway, that was one thing that we did that replaced a holiday of sorts, and we did that. There's other things that we did. So like ice cream night. Now we came up with ice cream night, and ice cream night was a fun one. We're studying the Bible. We're going through Hebrews, and in Hebrews 11:5, I believe it is, it talks about Sarah and how her faith, and it talks about what? The four things.
Faith, hope, joy, and patience.
Yeah, patience.
Yeah.
Which actually Sarah actually reminded me or pointed this out, that we need to add grace in there somehow, and then we'll have all of our daughters' middle names. And I was like, how about that? Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But we were studying Hebrews, and the thing about what Christ does is that Christ gives us a promise, right? And he's the Father. He makes a promise, and he does not lie. He tells the promise, and we believe that promise.
Right.
And so then we have to wait patiently for that promise to come, which is our hope. And kind of like the gospel story right there. And so we came up with our feast day, basically, and it's every Wednesday. And at first it was conditional, if you eat your supper, back when they were younger. And now we just have ice cream night every Wednesday. And we don't always tell the story, but it's to commemorate faith, hope, and I want to say love, but faith, hope, patience, and in the process, joy. And I'm sure grace could be in there somewhere. But that was ice cream night. And so every Wednesday, they look forward to that, where, hey, we are going to have ice cream. Now, sometimes when we did no sugar, we had to modify it a little bit, and had gross ice cream.
Is that when you made you made ice cream?
We
before?
make it sometimes.
You make it with
Especially when we
honey?
can't have sugar, then we'll use honey or maple syrup or whatever's
How does that
allowed.
turn out with honey?
Maple syrup's good.
Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Probably just more expensive.
Yeah, that would be
Probably.
especially now.
I don't know if you get chocolate with maple syrup though.
Chocolate with, I don't know. But vanilla always works well. But, birthday, game nights, days of fellowship, shindigs. That's why we put on the shindig.
Right.
It's like a festival to us. And the reason why we're mentioning festivals is because we're going to get right into that. And so the key point here is that I do believe that traditions are important. And it really holds, a family looks forward to things.
Right. Yeah, they do.
Every year, I know like the Lanfords, or maybe I shouldn't mention their names on the air,
Too late.
but they probably don't listen. But every year, or maybe every other year, they go hiking up the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, wow.
And
Do they
look,
really?
Yeah, and they
Oh,
look
that's
forward
exciting.
to doing that in the fall or the spring. I don't know which one.
Probably the fall.
Probably
Yeah.
the fall. And they go hiking, camping along the way,
yeah.
hiking and camping, and they look forward to that. And I think that's kind of cool. There's no way I would do it.
Yeah, that's
no
kind
way.
of cool.
There is no way. No way. But things like that where every year we look forward to an event. We look forward to the shindig.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work for us, but we enjoy doing that. The kids love it, and I'm sure the people going to it hopefully love it too.
Hope so.
And so I know the Thorntons.
It seems like it.
Really
People
like
keep coming.
going to the shindig. And so Days of Fellowship, there's other
Yeah.
events that come up that we look forward to. I don't know, is there some traditions that you guys hold that aren't your traditional traditions?
Yeah, so
traditional
ours,
traditions?
we have one that's non-traditional tradition. The kids have always looked forward to this. It didn't happen this year, just because of circumstances. It didn't work out. But it's like for other people, this would be kind of hard. But it's the opening season of dove season.
Yep.
We have a
That's
dove
right.
hunt.
Yeah.
And the dove hunt traditionally has been more than just the actual hunt. So
Sure.
the kids help get prepared for it, and we wake up early and we'll go out and we'll hunt. But after the hunt, my mother-in-law would make breakfast for everybody.
Sure.
And when
Oh,
I say
wow.
everybody, this is kind of a community event in our area. So we'll have folks from all around come over, and then afterwards they'll come and have breakfast with us. A lot of them will leave after that, and then some folks will hang around for the day because oftentimes we'll have a hunt in the afternoon too.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who are hanging around the day, we'll end up at the house. We'll do some barbecue. We'll play volleyball, and trust me, by the time the day's over, you are exhausted. But it's that's a kind of a non-traditional tradition
that
that we
would be
have. It's fun.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of
Hopefully
fun.
next year. Actually, we'll see, Larry. I haven't told the kids this yet, but I got pictures. I got 50
They're gonna find
birds.
out.
I got 50 birds out there right now.
Oh,
So
wow.
we might sneak one in.
There you go.
Hey, that would be exciting.
Everybody, there's the Kushan,
the
the
Kushan,
Kushan
yeah.
down here, the crawfish boils.
Crawfish
Well,
boils,
the
yeah.
Grimm's had traditions of coming here multiple times a year.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know what you're going to do now.
I know. And now
Well, they came here for Thanksgiving,
Right.
but
4th of July.
4th of July.
Yeah.
And what else? A shindig. And
yeah, but those are traditional traditions, which are still fun to do. I mean,
Yeah.
we always did a fireworks show until Jeremiah decided to go get engaged to.
and they get married. And
Yeah, I know, and ruined it all.
Thanks.
So we actually do Christmas. Y'all know that. It's probably not as much as like the world does Christmas, but we do Christmas. But I think that more recently our kids have probably, if they're like me, we've actually enjoyed more a day earlier when we actually decorate. The decoration day, I think, has actually become more anticipated than actual Christmas Day.
Sure.
So
Well, when I
it's
grew
enjoyable.
up, the day after Thanksgiving was a day where we would go get the tree. And our parents, we would go get the tree, and my mom and sisters, and we would come back, and they would cook all kinds of food, and we would decorate, and that was a big day, and we always look forward to that because it was fun. My parents love Christmas. I can't even communicate how much. We have a family text chain that is every day. It's Christmas is almost here. Christmas is. I'm like. They must hate it that I don't celebrate it. But anyway, okay. So looking in the Bible, going back to the scriptures here, the Israelites, God initiated these things. Okay, they have feasts and feast days, and so here's just a few of them. That you have Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of First Fruits, the Feast of Weeks, the Feast of Trumpets, the Yom Kippur, the Feast of Tabernacles. All of these have food involved. There's something about God and food. I mean, he loves us to eat.
Yeah, because it's more of a communal thing. It's a time of. It's associated with good times and celebration and all that.
Yeah,
So-
and to be fair, most most nations and all that weren't like America, where we just have food on every corner.
Right.
And like I was telling Michael Thornton, that it's like it might mean more if we didn't gourd ourselves every day.
Yeah, that's
like we had Thanksgiving every day. It's like, oh, so we eat more? Okay, but for a feast, it's like to celebrate the harvest, and So God created seasons, and you put that note down. So what do you mean by that?
I just think like with each season, it's nice to look forward to the next one. So like
We live in Louisiana, babe.
I know. And
We have
that's
two
why,
seasons.
And that's
No,
why
we got shrimp,
That's
crawfish.
right. That's right. We got crawfish season. That's right.
Well, that's why I've always said it'd be nice to live somewhere where you actually have 4 seasons, where you have spring.
Does it get cold?
Summer.
Forget about it.
Like it's cold here.
Yeah, but think about it. So if
It
you lived
gets
in
cold here for 3 hours.
Yeah.
It gets cold here, but it's like a wet cold, so it's even colder. And then
Yeah.
People up
Let's
north
not go
don't-
there.
Anyway, but like right now, it's
If you're using
fall.
the word, I don't think it means what you think it means.
It's light summer
Yeah.
It gets colder than that.
for a couple of
You'll
days,
find out.
but
It gets cold.
Anyway, but it's nice to look forward to the next season
yeah.
and what's gonna, it's like,
Right.
oh, pretty
And
soon we're
especially
gonna.
like during the harvest
Except for
time,
summer.
it's an easy time to
Swimming.
celebrate. Like you were mentioning earlier about like the Amish would get together on a barn racing.
Right,
It's
right.
accomplishing many things on one event,
Right.
And it's I guess it's fun, and you meet a lot of people. The community comes together. There's probably a lot of food and all that stuff.
Back to the food.
yeah.
Yes. Well, food is very important.
Well, you think about in an agrarian society, when that was one of the feasts, was the Feast of Harvest.
Mm-hmm.
You harvest that's when you have an abundance, and you would save that up. Hopefully, you had enough to carry you through for the next harvest.
But
But
yeah, and then there's some. Go ahead.
well, I was going to say, and in the Passover,
Okay.
the purpose of the lamb was a symbol, but
Yep.
it also provided a meal for the evening. And
No, and all these had very spiritual applications,
right.
and so it's always good to tie those things in. So it works twofold. Like it is good to have your own traditions as families,
Right.
and it is good to have communal.
Yeah.
Communal, is that the good community? I guess communal, church, even traditions, things that maybe a group like going to the shindig. It's not just our family going camping; it's everyone else going camping, or something else, or like the dove hunt. If there's people who go there frequently, or something, or the Kushan.
Yeah.
It's not just the family tradition. Even though like every Wednesday we have ice cream night. It's our family tradition. Not everybody else joins us, even though the Grimms have crashed our party many times, which is fine. It's all good. It's all good. The more ice cream, the better.
try to bring our own ice cream.
Yeah, no doubt. That's all good.
Which is important because I feel like it's good to have things to look forward to.
Yes.
Right.
So
Yeah.
this is where we have the yes instead of no, no,
Right,
no. It's like,
right.
hey, guess
Well,
what we're
look
going to
forward
do?
to and to remember. Like with ice cream night, we do remember the gospel and why it's important. All the feast days were in remembrance.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
we come together for church. We have a meal together, and kind of like communion. And it's the Last Supper. We're celebrating
Right.
Christ's life, and we're remembering His life, His death, His burial, His resurrection. That's an important thing too. Every family is unique. So we got a lot of things here like hunting, camping, biking, hiking, reading, building, gardening, watching movies, whatever it is.
Obviously, some of those aren't your thing.
What are you talking
we
about?
could tell when you
Yeah.
got to like camping, biking, hiking,
Anything with an ing is probably. Oh, okay. Never mind.
eating.
I do like eating.
Yeah.
But everybody has their little different things that they
Right.
like to do, and I'm not a big hiker, but that's fine. You might like the Lanfords, like I said. They
Yeah, that
they
sounds
like to hike.
exciting. That sounds like a lot of fun.
No way. There is no way. Not in your lifetime. I am not in my lifetime. So anyway,
We could do a 24-hour race. That way you get a variety. Hiking, canoeing, biking.
there is no way. No way. So find things that bring you together.
Yeah.
And especially if you're going to be counterculture like we are. And sometimes it's good to share in that.
Yeah.
And like you said, you copied what we did. And even for Thanksgiving or 4th of July, come together,
Right.
make your own little celebrations. And it's good to celebrate together with other families. It's good to celebrate within the family. Traditions are important. As much as I am an iconoclast, and I break down those sacred cows and don't care for the traditions of the church necessarily, but I do know that within the families, traditions are huge. And,
Right. Well, I'll say it. I wish we would have started earlier when our kids were younger, having an alternative, because I like to have fun. I'm just not one to come up with ideas that are fun. And
Really?
so- yeah.
Okay.
I mean, well, my idea of fun is like the things you wouldn't like hiking and biking.
Yeah. Yeah, and yet we're good friends. That's so weird. Yeah. We like talking,
right?
And
but
laughing.
I think it's interesting. You got two on here, building and gardening, which for a lot of people probably sounds like work.
Yeah,
good point.
But it is. I mean, it is either one. It's a lot of work. But it goes back to the point that you don't have. It doesn't not have to be fun. And in both of those, it can still be fun if you're intentionally trying to make it that way. I mean, my kids have a lot of memories of fun times in the garden.
Sure.
We probably have a lot of memories of not fun times in the garden too. But we can't make it. Can be fun.
We have memories in your garden too.
Yes, you do. And those were bad memories. We got to replace it.
I didn't mind gardening at your house.
Fun.
It was just so cold and windy.
That was a horrible first experience. We'll try to do better next year.
Yeah, it was all right. So anyway, what do we have left here, babe? The parenting older children.
Yeah, just your older kids need a yes too, especially because there are things that they want to do sometimes. Like you said, you want to say yes, but sometimes you can't. So it's important to come up with when they come and say, "Can I go here
Go to
or do
India
this
by myself?"
Right. Then it's like, well, maybe not that, but maybe come up with an alternative. Try to work on that.
You have to be creative.
Create the environment.
And you have time. You can even say, well, let me think about this. Preempt it, think about your kids, you know what they like. So it's going to take some work, but that should be your free time, is to think about what your kids, come up with alternatives.
Well, and your older kids obviously want to be around other older kids. They're going to want to get married, so they're going to need to meet people and hang out with people, and so you need to make that happen.
Yep.
Expand the pond, right?
Yeah. Is how did we say it? Need a bigger pond or something
Need
like
a bigger
that.
pond, expand the circle. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know.
But you do. I mean, you got to make it a point to actually have places where they can interact with people.
Yeah, because we've already done that phase. And sometimes we forget about that phase, how important it is to have friends and have other people in their lives. And so to always say, no, you're just going to have to stay home and be bored. They're going to jump ship. Yeah. They're going to say, this is not what I'm looking for. And to be realistic and to say, or to be unrealistic and say, you should never have any fun. We got to be seriously minded and be like, well, it's unrealistic. Even for an adult, I'd like to have fun. I like to enjoy life. And especially a 20-year-old who's just getting ready to go experience. And he's like, they don't have to go out drinking to have fun.
No.
That's to me, that doesn't look like fun. No. But we got to be able to, like, hey, this is what we're going to do for fun. Do a volleyball court, invite people over to your house. Yes, it's messy. Yes, it could be a headache. Yes, they stay over till like midnight, or us coming over to Tate's house till 2 a.m. And so,
if you got a good friend who has some laser tag equipment.
That was cool. Yeah, you can make that an annual event.
Yeah, we need to hit him up again.
Yeah, that was fun. Only because I won. All right. Well, I think that was good. I don't know what we're going to call this, honestly. Replacement, something, just making, saying yes instead of no. I don't know.
Well, there you go.
Like that. And always have a yes instead of a no sometimes. I don't know. We got to come up with something. All right, Joshua, I know we are over again. We are constantly over. You know what? This is our normal time.
We can't be over if it's normal.
No, but we got to get Bible study ready here pretty soon. All right, let's get out of here. Thanks a lot, everyone, for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Please tell a friend, about the show if you like it. If you don't, keep it to yourself. And
or tell them, because their friend might like it.
Okay,
you never
that's a good point.
That's right.
Good.
And check out the Facebook page.
Yes, check that out. And I guess an Instagram thing soon. I don't know. Josh was working on that.
He said something about TikTok too, but I don't know.
They're working on all of them.
We're not very good at promoting. Go check out Sarah's book too.
Oh yes, that's right.
And Amazon. So all right, thanks a lot, guys, for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Hi, I'm Joshua Charleston, the producer for The Mike Charleston Show. If you enjoyed listening to the show, please help us spread the word by liking, subscribing, sharing, leaving a review, or just tell a friend. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you'd like to be a part of the show, please email us at talk@fellowshipofbelievers.org. We look forward to hearing from you.
We hope you enjoyed listening to The Mike Charleston Show. The Mike Charleston Show.